Okay. So here we go. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Hi, good evening. How are you, Kat?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you. Yeah, so we thought we would put this session together to let our clients know, people of Calderdale, and beyond, what we're up to as trainers, how we got to the place that we're in at the minute, and yeah, just a little bit of background, what services you're offering as a dog trainer, what services I'm offering, and we yeah, we'll just crack on then.
Sure.
Hmm.
Kat, you approached me to start with in autumn, didn't you, of last year?
Hmm.
I think you were looking for an assistant in your classes in Hebden Bridge,
That's right.
which
Yeah.
which have been going strong for how long now?
Oh, probably about 5 or 6 years, I think, been established
Yeah,
that length of
because you,
time.
you had them you've had them in the school hall there, and yeah, they've been going really well. I was pleased to see how well they were doing, and I was really keen to learn a little bit more about your approach to training dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've been doing a course through the same course that you sat, actually, the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. That's the APDT,
Hmm.
and they help us together to structure our classes, especially the ones for the puppies, where they're learning all their life skills that's going to set them up for a great start and hopefully prevent a lot of the problems that I see in a workplace for dogs that haven't had a good grounding. So,
Absolutely.
I'm here to try and help dogs medical well-being, surgical skills come into it, of course, but I'm hoping that now I'm able to help them on an emotional well-being as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we uh, have we've kind of chosen the same path to study along, though, Chris, haven't we? With, obviously we're from very different backgrounds, but in terms of our dog training, and where we want to be, and the ethos that we're following, we've chosen the same path, which is the Association of Pet Dog Trainers in the UK. And I think that's what, obviously we are positive reinforcement trainers and we want to we've chosen that way to train our dogs and to help people train their dogs in that positive way. And yeah, what attracted you to the APDT, Chris?
Well, I was introduced to it by a fellow dog trainer in in Manchester as well, and she's been able to introduce me to the various techniques that the APDT offer in and how dogs learn what they learn. Um, and it helps to build up a nice groundwork for their behaviors. It's something that I, as a vet, really want to help clients with because of the problems that they encounter later on in life. A lot of these are just so preventable. Um, I'm I met the APDT staff at Crufts, and they're all very, very approachable staff.
Yeah,
And their training ethos, as you said, is very much around the way of a positive reinforcement structure.
yeah, yeah. Um, so I was the same. Well, I came from at it from working in a when I joined when I decided to look at a dog training profession or do that career, I joined it. I didn't have the same knowledge of dogs and dog biology as you do. But I also wanted to do the best thing for when I was training dogs and helping people train their dogs. I wanted to be as kind as possible, as effective as possible, and as positive as possible. And the APDT ticked all those boxes for me. That
Mm.
was the one that just fitted. It called me at that time to go down that route. And I'm really glad that I have. I've met some amazing people, and yeah. it's opened a lot of doors and a lot of avenues for me.
And there are lots of skills that you've been able to introduce your clients
Yeah,
to help them understand how their dogs are learning. And I think if you can train your clients to work that way in their mind, then it'll help them teach their dogs themselves what they're
yeah,
hoping to
exactly.
achieve. Do you know what I mean? Give them the skills that they'll be able to use every day of their lives and make that a positive experience for them.
Absolutely, yeah. So, when you came along and said that you would help out with the puppy classes, yeah, it's a real opportunity for me, an opportunity for you as well, to bring our backgrounds together and to work with one common goal of helping puppy owners with you know, bring up their new puppy, the puppy that they've come home with. And yeah, it's been great. And just to put things in context for people, I have been running the puppy classes in Hebden Bridge under my business, Cat and Dogs Professional Dog Training, for a number of years now. They've been very successful. People have really enjoyed, got lots of really positive feedback about the courses. And now it's my turn, my time to move into another area of dog training, and your time to step into the puppy training area, Chris.
Yeah, I'm. I've I've actually been really keen on starting this. Since I first met you, I could see that the class structure was exactly what I wanted to start with in dog training. And whether this takes me further and I'm then able to host classes for more advanced levels once the puppies have graduated from their puppy classes, hopefully we'll be able to move on to the next step. And follow the same pathway so that I can see these lovely puppies developing. I mean, who doesn't love puppies? It's great to be working with them day in, day out, but I really would love to see how they develop and hopefully help their owners to get a lovely bonding relationship that will last for the rest of their lives. Um, we we've seen in our practice a huge benefit from joining the Dogs Trust dog friendly clinic scheme, which encompasses a lot of the um, educating of clients with their dog behavior, their body language, which I know you touch on in your classes, so that the clients can understand what their pets are doing, and that does help so much if you know what your dog's trying to show you.
Absolutely. Body language is key, isn't it, Chris? I mean, you were even talking today about how some of the top high-level show dogs and Crufts were given off body language of not really wanting to be touched. And these dogs are touched a lot by judges and in their training, because I know I've worked with people who show their dogs. And we spend a lot of time doing body handling, but that's me. Maybe these other dogs and the handlers, maybe the handlers need to put that same um a effort into making sure that their dogs are okay to be handled.
Yeah, you're absolutely. I think when you're talking about handling of dogs, that comes into my professional job as well as a veterinary surgeon. If the dog can't be handled, it makes my life trying to examine them and interpret what's going wrong with them very, very tricky. So I have to examine with my eyes and see what body language the dogs are showing me to try and indicate maybe which part of the body is hurting even before I lay my hands on. It's all about the situation the dog finds itself as to how it behaves. And you touched on crufts
Yeah,
and how dogs behave at crufts. Well, that's all about taking the practical experiences and the practical exercises we train them in a class and putting it on the road in different situations. So if the dog will allow itself to be handled and touched and examined in a class situation, will it then allow itself to be touched and handled and examined in the home environment and then in a park environment by a stranger or, like you said, a show or at the vets? All of these things are different experiences for the dog. So you've got to take it a step back and maybe learn those behaviors from the very, very small, slightest stroke on the side of the shoulder to a
Absolutely.
full-on body examination.
And this is one of the subjects that you'll be covering in puppy class, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, of
it's really important and close to my heart.
course, yeah. Of
I don't want to give up doing the veterinary work
course not.
because, this is exactly the reason why I want to do the puppy classes to try and help in some way emotionally for these pups.
Yeah, great. Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm really, really excited that you are, you know, starting your own classes. And what's your business called, Chris?
Yeah, yeah. I've called it "Don't Stop Retrieving," which is kind of a play on words because there's a famous 1980s rock song, "Don't Stop Believing." And the band name was Journey, and I incorporated that into the strap line of the business as well, saying "Helping you on your dog training journey." So
Right.
I'm I don't know if anyone will get the actual pun that I've included in that, but
I
I
think
thought it ran quite nicely, and
I think someone did.
I was thinking about jingles and all sorts, and singing a jingle. No, I'm joking.
Right. I think someone mentioned it that they find it really catchy. And every time I think of Don't Stop Believing, it does it's a bit of a soundworm, isn't it? It goes on in your head a bit.
Yeah, I hope people will recognize it and
Yeah.
see it for what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So people can find your puppy classes under Don't Stop Retrieving.
Yeah, without the G. So yeah, in classic style, we've got the don't stop retrieving.co.uk, or you can
Okay.
find me on Facebook with the same title.
And
It's
and what
facebook.com don't stop retrieving.
when are you so my last class as cat and dogs professional dog training, my last puppy class, at that venue in Hebden Bridge. I'm not going to ever say my last puppy class ever because I love teaching puppy class. And I love seeing the progression of puppies from week 1 to week 6 and follow on from that as well. It just is such a rewarding part of the job, building up that relationship with people and their owner, the puppy's owners. So I won't ever say it's my last class ever, but for now, you're doing your thing. You're going to be running your classes using the same venue because the school has been a um, kind enough to continue and let us run puppy class, well, let you run puppy classes in there. So when are you hoping to start your first class, Chris?
I'm hoping March the 18th. So it'll be on the Tuesday evenings, the same Tuesday, because you've been following
Yeah.
them on Tuesday evenings. I thought it best to keep on
Yeah.
the same pattern.
Okay.
And initially, we'll be kicking off with a 6:30 evening start, and the courses are 6 weeks long. Exactly the same structure as you've been following. So clients of yours will be very familiar with the structure that you've used. It's
Mhm.
been successful. It works for the pups, and yeah, I'll be I'll be getting some help in from my fellow staff at the veterinary surgery. They've offered me a little bit of support as well,
Mhm.
and I'm sure that it'll be a good success.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should kick off nicely. People have already started to show some interest, which I'm really pleased about.
You've had a few bookings and people who come through me looking for puppy classes, I'm happy to pass them on to you. So if I do get any, because I am established, and it has been word of mouth for, Contact Cat, she has puppy classes running, but I will be passing them on to you. Um, I I will continue well, I'm focusing on one-to-one training myself.
Yeah,
Um, so puppies and owners, some owners don't want to go to the group training environment. Some owners can't make that time. For all sorts of reasons. And I will step in and do one-to-ones in those cases. for people who want to do that.
And and yeah, people will want your experience. They'll appreciate the one-to-one service for sure. And I'll be happy to pass any inquiries for
Yeah,
those clients on to you as well. And you'll have your own specialist skills that you'll be able to pass on to help them.
absolutely. Yeah. So, I so that's the 18th of March, did you say they're starting?
Mhm.
Uh,
That's
6,
it.
6 p.m.
And yes, that's right. And all my contact details will be on my Facebook page and on the website as well.
Yeah,
And
brilliant. And any what's the cost for the 6 weeks, Chris?
£125, and that'll spread out for the 6 weeks. And if it's all the hall is superb for training puppies. It's easy to get to, easy to find, easy parking, and it's safe. So yeah, no reason not to.
Okay. And yeah, so one thing about Hebden Bridge at the minute is we're all kind of struggling with the new parking regulations around here, but the venue that you have has got parking.
Yeah, it's really it's perfect for the job in hand, and we're very grateful to the school for
Yeah,
offering us the use of the facilities because there's to get dogs into a school environment it's quite something. It's a big ask, isn't it?
it is, yeah, but they're puppies and they're easy to manage. And so what age range does your class include then, Chris?
I'm hoping to take puppies on so long as they've had their first vaccines and so long as they've had their health checks, then that's absolutely fine for me to take those on.
Hmm.
They're not going to be put at any risk from close contact with any other dogs, any direct contact. So that's going to be, fine for me on a veterinary perspective.
Hmm.
And the sooner and younger we can start to help these pups, the better. And I don't really want to be taking on the older adolescent dogs because by that stage their demands are perhaps a little bit more complicated and they're not in keeping with the skills that I'll be teaching them in the puppy class. And yeah, but no, any inquiries are always welcome. And if they don't suit my classes, I can pass you on to Kat and she'll be able to help you.
Great, yeah. That sounds great, Chris. I do wish you all the best. I'm sure you'll learn, you've got a wealth of experience to bring to owners and puppies. And you'll also enjoy learning about the classes as well. It's yeah, I'm really happy with it. Uh so I guess I could say a little bit about what I'm up to.
I was hoping you were going to tell me that because you're going to want to use your skills as well. And
Yeah.
tell me what you most enjoy doing.
What I've most enjoyed doing with the puppies,
Well, with all dogs.
my biggest reward and my biggest reinforcement is to see the dog learn whatever you're trying to teach the dog, and also to see the owner click about how they can teach the dog, how they construct. That's my biggest reward to see that when a dog has, the owner can see that their dog is capable of learning. And all dogs, most dogs, in my experience, with some exceptions, and there's usually a reason for that exception, um, they can learn and they really enjoy learning. Especially they enjoy learning the way that we teach them because they get to earn rewards, whatever that reward is. So that's very like that's they want to repeat that. They want to repeat that learning. They want to repeat that experience. So when they come to class, you can see it from week 1 to week 6. A little shy puppy comes in at week 1. Week 2, they're not so shy. Week 3, they're like, great, I know what's happening here. I get to learn things and I get to earn rewards and I'm starting to make friends here, you know.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's all about that repetition,
Yeah,
giving confidence to the puppy
yeah.
and letting them get a little bit of more, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
I know
And
what's
then you
going on.
can, as an owner, you can start to steadily push it up a little bit so they have to do a little bit more to get that treat. And it's just that fine balance, isn't it?
Play, progressing the dog. So that is one of the things that uh, I enjoy to see. the learning. I enjoy to see the progression as well, and progression with the owners. Our job, well, when you look at and your day job as well, Chris, is a lot about working with people, and it's about making those connections. It's about making those bonds, getting people to trust you, and you know, building that relationship. So, and empowering them to know that they can work with their dog and that they can do these things that they want to do with their dogs, like let them off the lead and they'll come back, or walk down the street and not have their arms pulled out their socket. These things can happen. They do work. They can happen. Um, yeah, so I'm focusing on working with one-to-one clients. That's been my calling. I've run puppy classes for, as I said, a number of years now. Really enjoyed it, absolutely loved it. Made so many good connections and positive connections with people. My calling now is to focus on one-to-one dogs. So I will cover the training behaviors that people want, like recall and loose lead walking, uh, focus and engagement, um, leave, drop items, and all that kind of, that kind of training. I can also do a little bit of like more traditional obedience work and getting not people prepared for a competition, but get them thinking along that lines of how to actually refine their training a bit for in terms of obedience and rally for the rally sport that I do as well. I've also recently completed Julie Nesmith's separation anxiety uh, behavior consultant course, which is a very intense course and very thorough course for working with dogs and owners and the dogs who suffer from separation anxiety and can't be left on their own. That has been it's something that I've wanted to do for a number of years, and I've looked at different avenues of how to do that. And I kept coming back to Julie's course for trainers. She does a course specifically for trainers. So that's where my uh, energies are going to go to in the next 6 months or however long, for the foreseeable, really. So where I'm going to focus on one-to-one cases and separation anxiety cases. Yeah.
Separation anxiety is a big problem now. I mean, I spoke to a client just today about separation anxiety, and they're, well, not so young dog anymore. They'd obviously got it at a time when they were able to be at home with it all the time, and they're starting to realize that now they can't spend so much time with it. And it's the dog struggles. The dog struggles to be left alone, even, for a few moments, for a few minutes while she nips down to the shop. And she's had to set up cameras in the room so she can see that this dog's becoming upset in a very short space of time.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's only since she's had to start to leave it a little bit longer that she's realizing she's got an issue with it. Um, Mentioned it to me for some advice, and I said, "Well, you really do need to have someone professional to help you with this situation because it's not going to fix itself overnight." Um, so yeah,
No,
there's
that's it.
lots of cases out there who can benefit from your help.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm working with a couple of clients already, seeing some results. It's a big education process for the owners of dogs with separation anxiety. Um, they won't, they don't grow out of it. It's not something that they grow out of. And they do need the training and they need the support to understand that it's okay to be left, that they can be left on their own, but that takes time as well. So for me, it's a different kind of training. It's not obedience. It's not socialization or good manners. It's a confidence building in the dog for the dog to so they don't think something terrible is going to happen if they're left alone, because that's what these dogs think. I think, they get so scared, they get so fearful, they really wind them, get into such a state and such a terrible stressed state that I just want to make that better for them.
Good for you. Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure you'll make a difference to an awful lot of dogs. Now
Yeah.
you've you've got a very keen interest in some of the dog sports, haven't you? Because I noticed you mentioned rally obedience there. That's something that I saw that for the first time at Crufts. Not the first time, I have seen it before, but I actually saw it and watched with a keen interest because I knew you were interested in it. So I thought I'd pay some more attention about it. And yeah, I think I might have a go at that at some stage if I get a chance.
But
T tell me how you got into that.
um, well, as a trainer, it's always good. I think it's always good to compete with your dog because I do have a varying level. I have a varying level of a client base. So a lot of my clients want their dogs to be good pet dogs, well mannered. But I do get quite a few clients who come in and they want to do something with their dog as well because that's a kind of person that they are. They want to do something like agility or obedience or so I chose rally as my sport. I think it's having a revival, a rally revival. It's an amazing sport. It's like a combination. There is some obedience in there. It's not the rules and regulations are completely different from obedience, and the courses are a little bit more fun. So you don't really know what you're going to get until you get in the ring. You get a chance to have a walkthrough with the course, but there's not. It's very brief. You've got to think on your feet with your dog and have that bond. I chose rally because it just really appealed to me. I liked the idea that there was a course of, between 10 and 16 signs, and you walked around, you got to the sign, you read it, you did it, and then you went on to the next sign. There's also with rally, I saw straight from the start, right from the start, that you'd have to have a really motivated dog to want to do that. So that really appealed to me as well. How can I get a dog so motivated that they want to go 2.5 minutes around a course, and the only reinforcement is being with me? you know, that's quite a lot, really. So there's no, in competition and live events, you don't reward your dog in the ring, and you can't have any rewards on you. So that's a challenge. I like the challenge of it.
I um I think as well with the rally particularly, you can have each individual station and you can train that particular exercise in isolation.
Absolutely.
So you train that one, and
Mm,
when you think you've perfected that one, then you perhaps try a
yeah,
different one and then try a different one.
yeah,
And as we've mentioned before, taking these things on the road, so you try that exercise in a different location, try that exercise in a different location. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I can see it's a great deal of fun. And you don't always get the pressure of doing a full course when you're training. Makes it easier for the dog to learn. Makes
Much
it easier for
easier.
you to follow it.
Yeah, much easier for her. Yeah, much easier for Connie. Connie is my rally dog. She's also my agility dog. So she is, yeah, she's my demo dog when I do one-to-ones, and she's come to class a few times. So she's a good all-rounder. Yeah.
Well, you know as well that I've been doing some agility as well, so
Yeah.
it, it's a fun old game.
Yeah.
And you can turn your dogs are so versatile. I mean, you see so many different breeds of dog doing agility, so many different breeds of dog doing rally, and
Yeah.
it's amazing what a dog's versatility is. I remember when I was a youngster, I was training with my first dog Nemo, and he could turn his hand to gun dog work. He could turn his hand to agility. We did some showing with him. I did junior handling with him at the time,
Mm.
and you know, it was just it got me to where I am today, really, to train my dog in so many different aspects of dogdom. And that was through what is now the Young Kennel Club. They helped me along my way.
And was he a flat coat?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, flat-coated retrievers right from the start. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Uh,
I was lucky enough to have him enter my life when I was a teenager. I think my mother could see that there was a space in my life for someone to look after, and he followed me all the way through my veterinary career, and came out the other side, and I was looking after him when I first moved into Hebden Bridge.
oh, great. Nemo.
Nemo,
Mm. Here's to Nemo.
aye, bless
Yeah.
him, got me a
Yeah.
long way.
So, we have about 5 minutes left. I don't know, the chat is open if anybody's got any questions. We've had a few. Um, we had to uh, switch to Zoom. We got a bit lost on Facebook Live. Not sure how to do all of that, but we will. I mean, what I'd like to do, Chris, and I'm not sure how you feel about this, is to have a series of these chats where we can go into more detail about dog training issues.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Yeah,
And
yeah, and then we can feel through some questions at the end, and
yeah,
hopefully, if people have got comments and questions, then we can either reply to them at the time if we've got
yeah,
some time left on the Zoom, or maybe in private afterwards if they prefer it that way, because people have always got their own little questions that they may want to, address privately rather than in public.
yeah, absolutely. And there is somebody has already asked a question on one of the Facebook posts about whether it be recorded. So we'll put this recording up on our pages. It's a Zoom recording now, so it's not going to ever expire. We can send them a link to it on our websites as well, so people know what we're up to. They've got a face to a name, and a bit more personable. Feel free to contact us at any point, really. So anybody that's on, we've got a few participants. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, just pop them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just keep chatting on for a few minutes. And yeah, not
Did
sure.
did you get to watch any of the Crufts then, Kat, on TV, or were you just too poorly for that?
Yeah, I was a bit sick. I just didn't fancy it. I watched the rally and I watched
Yeah.
because I have a okay, hang on, Lucy, I'll come back to you in a minute. Thanks for your question. I will yeah, watched my people who I train with and my trainer, one of my trainers as well, on Crufts. She I got third on level 6. So I was really happy. But
Mhm.
for me it's great. I really enjoyed it. So I'm just going to answer Lucy's question. The training, Lucy, will be online. So that means that we will meet via Zoom or via Google Meet. Um, I don't need to go to people's homes for the separation anxiety training. And sometimes for dogs that are anxious, it can make them, it's another layer that we have to get through for them to be okay with somebody else in their space. If the person is local, so I am working with two local people, and I did do an initial visit at their house. It gives me a good idea for a layout of the house, but I don't have to do that. So I can, I'm marketing and I'm aiming with the separation anxiety training to um, do as much as possible online. And that will be my um, one of my selling points really to people so they can engage me wherever they are in the country really, or if time zones work, wherever they are in the world. So we haven't got very much time left now, Lucy. If you want to ask me more questions offline, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, in our next conversation, we can, depending on where the conversation goes, we can go further down into that avenue of separation anxiety training and how it works and what the model is. Is that helpful for
Good.
now?
I think that's fine, isn't it? Yeah. If clients have got questions that are specifically directed towards Kat, you can direct them towards Kat herself or myself. But we can if we think one question is going to be best answered by the other person, we can swap ideas around. So don't think you can't contact either of us.
Okay. I think we're just going to call it a day at that because I don't want to get cut off in mid-conversation. It's been a really great session. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for everybody who's turned up. Please contact us whenever you need to, and we'll watch out for our next one, which hopefully will be a Facebook Live. Okay, then. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Good night, Kat.
Good night.